everyone and welcome to this third weekly recap, and again a small red week for me this time, although the market was better, definitely, and there were more lost opportunities rather than actual big losers, so I guess I could have done it way better, but I missed a few entries, and especially in the last day, the 27th of August. Well, let's go one by one, and I'll try to cover everything here. So the first trade was on the 23rd of August on VVOS. One of the leading gappers, gapped quite high, as you can see here in this candle on the daily chart, and I took my trade, only one trade I took on it, and it was right here. Basically, my entry was at. I was looking for this breakout. Basically, this price was 625 on this 5-minute candle, and the next one didn't go any higher. Actually, the issue maybe could have been all these daily levels that were acting as a strong resistance. It didn't fail from there, but that definitely didn't go as planned. It turned out to be a small loser, just 3 cents. Basically, as you can see here, there was some descending resistance on this pullback from this move higher on the 1 minute, and I took my entry here at on this green candle here at 8:15 at 627, basically the top here, almost it's 628, and it arrived just to 633. My stop was right around this area of support, but as I saw that it was popping just 3 cents higher than 630 and already pulling back, didn't seem to actually be willing to go much further, and also the volume was okay but not very consistent, and I just jumped out at 624 for 3 cents loser. No big deal, nothing I really liked on this day, so I just traded this one. The next day, which is the 24th, I traded only TKAT, and I missed completely SPRT, which was the good one. I watched the whole move, I didn't trade anything on it, but on TKAT basically I took one trade. It was right around, yes, here. So basically, in this case, it wasn't a 5-minute setup, but rather a 1-minute setup within the context of this candle here and this candle here. The good thing, in my opinion, here, let me zoom in a bit. We had this move higher above this 775 level and the potential target of 923 on the daily. And we can see that this pullback was quite okay, like first very big candle. It was the second pullback here. This is a very small one anyway, but the second pullback, and the low was a bit lower, just 1 cent though, 1 cent below the low of this candle here. And so when it popped higher than 865, I basically jumped in, and it didn't go and reached the basically 867, which was my entry, and immediately rejected that level, and then managed to get out quite low. Actually, this wasn't a good trade. I got out here on the low, this candle at 838, really the low of the candle, so not a great execution. Could I hold longer? Well, actually, to be fair, I should have waited for a lot, 3 minutes and see if it could catch again the 9 EMA here, which did, but it could have easily flushed. My stop was just below the previous low, and I was fine getting out here. I was already trying to get out at 850 when I saw it couldn't reclaim it again, but it didn't fill my order, so I had to wait and sell at the bid, basically. On the next day instead, I traded SPRT, which was moving the day before, and I had a decent trade here. I was watching it since the previous day. It was very strong, and I had the chart open. I saw basically this first rip higher, and when it pulled it back, I got in for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. I actually got filled a bit high, 1307 here, for the breakout of this candle here, and then I sold both times on this candle. The first time here at 1326, and then at 1318, which theoretically should have been higher, but I sold on the bid here, and the spread was bigger, so I wasn't sure if it was going to come back down here. It actually did a bit, as you can see on this candle. Next candle, the low was 13, so it actually went below my entry, and so I would have stopped anyway. Being the second half, I usually put my stop at break even on the second half, so I would have been stopped anyway, but I managed to reach 1360, so I ended up selling it a bit sooner than maybe I should. But it was the first trade of the day. I was okay, trying to catch a winner here. I took then another trade later on, still in pre-market. Again, a setup I usually take, even though I'm not getting very good results lately. And let's see if I can draw this one. There was this descending resistance and a pullback here. As you can see also here on the 5 minute candle, it was a longer pullback, but I guess the trend line, the correct trend line, can be drawn here on the 1 minute. I waited basically for the stock to reclaim these levels, and I was looking for a move higher, actually way higher. At least I took my trade basically here for the breakout of this 5 minute candle. The high was 1379, and I jumped in right at 1382. So basically here on this candle, it reached the high of 1396. I was looking for a breakout of 14. I sold just half here at 1390, sorry, and I was really looking forward for a bigger move, hopefully even attempting to reach 1472. It didn't, and I sold at 1383 the other half in order to avoid having any losses on it. It's an okay trade, not very happy with the result, but flawless. There's some setup. This is the setup I wanted, the entry I wanted, the stops that I wanted, so can't complain on this. And also on the next day I traded two stocks. The first was KXIN, and we can see here already I drew this descending resistance line, and let's see here. Okay, I basically got in for this first 5 minute candle to make a new high. I wasn't really sure about this because it broke through view up several times. but we had this nice support on the 1 minute, basically at 377, which seemed to hold pretty well, and so I was getting confident enough for trying a setup here, and I jumped in basically at 390 here at the breakout of this candle, and it immediately stopped, and so I basically it went just 2 cents higher, and I sold again at 318 385. So 385, very small loser. I was okay. 382 here. I was okay waiting for it to tap the 9 EMA before stopping. It did. It didn't bounce back, and as soon as it went below it, I sold. 382 was the stop. Yeah, there were a lot of actual good possible support lines here. The 9 EMA view up to 20. None of these actually worked. You can see that later on it flashed. So yes, the exit was okay. Unfortunate again. And as you can see, the setup lately is not working very much. So maybe I shouldn't focus on it. UUU instead. I took one trade on it, and it was a loser again. And I took at 8:23 this 1 minute candle. This was a 1 minute candle setup. I saw this higher push finally after this long period of doing nothing with very low volume. Finally got some volume. I was already looking for a trade here, but I wasn't sure because the volume was very low, 2,000 shares on this candle, so not very nice. And it went high to a high of 874, pulled back. Again, it broke through the low of the previous candle, but just by a little, only at 840. It was still 842 in the end, even though it looks a bit lower, and still a bit further high from the 9 EMA. I got in basically for the breakout here, 853, and I had to sell for a loss with the let me see. Yeah, and this one actually I wasn't very lucky with the fills. I basically got in here. I tried to sell for some profits when I saw that it wasn't really going. I didn't get any fill at the ask, so I tried to sell again at the 850 on the ask, no fill again. I ended up selling it at 844 here, which is still within my limit. My stop loss was here, but again, not ideal. Then next day, on the 27th of August, it was a Friday, and this is the day where I missed a lot of opportunities. I was getting frustrated because I lost them for very stupid reasons, you may be laughing, but one was because I had a nosebleed, and so I couldn't trade in that moment, and I had to distract and completely missed the setup I was looking for. Another was because on SPRT we have the usual 8 a.m. whips, and because of that I wanted to actually check better the price on the trading platform itself those whips do not show up. So I changed the order entry window for the ticker, and while I was doing that, it went through my entry, so I missed it. It was already 25 cents higher once I managed to actually load the ticker on the order entry window, and that's it. I lost a pretty huge move. Anyway, also Neuro was okay, and I took one trade here. Again, same setup. This time it worked. It would have worked a bit better. What happened here though is that I got in at 1358, basically here, and immediately I found at 1360 a 60,000 share seller here. And until here, as you can see, the volume of this candle is not even 34 or 37, 38,000 shares. So it means that to break 60,000 shares of a seller, it wouldn't take maybe 2 minutes. It actually did, as you can see here, before breaking. And so I basically sold immediately for 1 cent loser. Ideally, I would have liked to actually jump in at 1361 after the break of that seller, but I was distracted by something else that was moving, and I was charting, and I completely missed it. And again, frustration rose up, and I wasn't feeling, when you don't feel very well in that moment, you get this frustration, you want to stick to your plan. I didn't make any mind errors, but still it wasn't great. Then I took 2 trades on SGOC, and the first one was, maybe not ideal, still within a setup I wanted to take. It was on this candle here. I didn't catch any of this. I was looking at this one, but I wasn't sure. It was a very small pullback. And here I saw these candles having every single one of them a higher low in this pullback with the flat top. So I said, you know what, maybe I can try, and there is a room above to 1198. So plenty of room. Let's see if it can break. Obviously it didn't go as planned, and I got in basically here for the breakout of this candle at 1054, and I basically had to stop. Ideally I was trying to get out immediately, but I got filled like 9 cents lower than I wanted, because I saw that it couldn't break. It came back below. I waited to see 1045 on the bid, and I was filled more around 1036. Yeah, 1036. So an accidental 14 cents loser for basically just a slippage on the bid. And then I took another trade on SGOC, this time with half share size. Again, move higher, pull back here with higher lows. I saw that it was choppy here. Not on the diagram here on the chart, it looks quite clean, but on the level 2, it basically popped higher than this candle, but the bid didn't move at all. So I waited. I said, okay, maybe it's not ready yet. But I saw 11. When I saw 11 breaking on the bid, I jumped in basically to 1104, looking for a move towards 1198. Nothing to do it. Came back down. and waited here, but as soon as it broke the low of this candle, I sold. So even a bit higher. I mean, I waited, it came back down, sold at 10.82. So another loser, and that was the end of the week. So just to recap, it was a decent week market-wise. Not a great week in terms of results for me, and most of the trades were red, but I felt like the market was coming in, the momentum was there, and some stocks showed pretty decent setups. So maybe it was just a bit of a not great luck. But I'm okay if the market keeps doing like it's doing now. I think there are good opportunities, and that's good. That said, I wish you a very good week and stay green. Bye bye.